All right, welcome back. So in this problem, we're going to actually start using the half angle identities. Okay, so the actual problem we're given, the one that I'm being told to do, is number 52, which says sine of pi over 8 and cosine of pi over 8. But it's a little bit too basic. I mean, we'll get it and it'll be fine. But I want to show you something that goes on with this one too. So we're going to also do sine of 5 pi over 8 and cosine of 5 pi over 8. Okay, so let's start by just remembering our formula. So our formula was sine of theta divided by 2 is plus or minus the square root of 1 minus cosine theta divided by 2. And cosine theta over 2, I don't know why I put parentheses on there. Not really needed, it's understood, is also plus or minus square root of 1 plus cosine theta divided by 2. Okay, so now pi over 8. That's 1/2 of pi over 4. And we know the cosine of pi over 4. At least we should. Okay, now pi over 8, we know that's in quadrant 1. Okay, you could do it by converting or just knowing, right? But that's in quadrant 1. Determine that for yourselves, okay? And then now we can get the signs, by signs I mean plus or minus, from knowing that our answer should be in quadrant 1. In quadrant 1, both sine and cosine are positive. So this is going to be plus, let's do this as sine for now, 1 minus, well, let's put 1/2 minus square root of 2 over 4. Okay, again, we're taking this 1 divided by this 2 minus, this is the cosine of theta divided by 2. Okay, playing around with this a little bit, just a little bit of algebra, we're going to get square root of 2 minus root 2 over the square root of 4 is just 2. And this has a big old plus in front. Okay, put this in a different color. Move it over a little bit. Okay, and then we get for free almost this one. It's almost the same except for this has plus in there. So it's going to be plus the square root of 1 plus, oops, square root of 2 plus root 2. Oh man, I really screwed it up. There we go. Divided by 2. Okay. Okay, that one almost came for free. Okay. Now, let's do sine of 5 pi over 8. So now, we're going to do the exact same thing. Okay, we're going to do the exact same thing. 5 pi over 8 is 1/2 of 5 pi over 4. We need to know the cosine of 5 pi over 4. Cosine of 5 pi over 4 is negative root 2 over 2, right? Okay, remember cosine, 5 pi over 4 is in the third quadrant. Okay, so that means x is negative. So we're going to get negative root 2 over 2 there. Okay, so sine, now, 5 pi over 8 itself, though, what quadrant is that in? That's right, it's in quadrant 2. So that means that you are going to have negative on cosine, positive on sine. Okay, so positive square root of, same game, 1/2. Now it's going to be minus root 2 over 2. Okay, I'm going to play the exact same algebra game that I played up here. Okay, it's the exact same algebra game. So root 2, this one's going to be, oops, almost. Let me correct this. Thank you. I know someone said it and it traveled back in time. That should be plus, because this is minus and the sine formula has a minus. So the minus minus became plus. I know you yelled it so hard at the screen. That I heard it. So 2 plus root 2 over 2. Okay, now this is again positive. Now, cosine of 5 pi over 8. 5 pi over 8 is in the second quadrant, so the cosine is going to be negative. Almost the exact same algebra, except for now it's going to be minus root 2 over 2. Okay, comes for free, but just keep in mind how were these minus and plus determined? Because of where 5 pi over 8 lives. Okay. All right. I think we got time for one more on this video. So, last problem in this section that I'm doing here is cosine of theta equals negative 12 over 13. Theta is between pi and 3 pi over 2. And it asks us to find sine of theta over 2, cosine of theta over 2, and tangent of theta over 2. Okay, so first thing we're going to do, we're going to determine where theta over 2 lives. What quadrant does it live in? So this information here, since theta is between pi and 3 pi over 2, theta over 2, we're just going to divide everything by 2. So pi over 2 is less than theta over 2 is less than 3 pi over 4. What quadrant does theta over 2 live in? If you said the second quadrant, you were right. Okay, second quadrant, remember, that's over here, right? So that means sine is positive, cosine is negative, and tangent is negative. Okay. Excuse me. Okay. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to play the sine cosine game. We know the formula, right? So remember, let me write it down from up here. Let's put that in red there. Okay. So now, that means we are going to take plus the square root of 1/2 minus cosine of theta is -12/13. So that's going to change this to a plus. Let me make that a better color. A plus, okay, 12/26. Okay, right? Because we're taking the 12/13 and dividing it by 2, right? Okay, so that's going to equal common denominator of 26. So we're going to multiply that by 13. So we're going to get 13 plus 12/26. So 5/√26, which means we're going to have to do a little bit of rationalization. But here, that's an easy one. We just multiply by square root of 26 on the numerator and denominator. So we get 5√26/26. Okay. And it is, again, positive because theta/2 lives in quadrant 2. Okay. Next one, cosine. Cosine theta/2 equals negative, because remember in quadrant 2, cosine is negative, square root. It's almost going to be the same thing, right? It's going to be 1/2 minus 12/26. Okay. Again, common denominator is 26. Okay. So that's going to be square root negative 1 minus 12. No, it's not that, right? We got to do 13 minus 12, common denominators. I guess I shouldn't be doing math at, what is it, 11 o'clock at night for me. Okay. So that equals, well, that's just going to equal square root of 26/26 with a negative sign. Okay. Tangent of theta. Tangent of theta is just sine over cosine, right? So that's just going to be 5, -5. Okay. Let's go ahead. I want to show you guys something. Let me draw a picture of what's going on here. So our angle has a cosine of -12/13. This is theta. Okay, so theta has a cosine of -12/13. So, and it lives, theta itself lives in the third quadrant. Okay, so let me draw theta, and that's going to be a big old cosine, like so. This is theta. Okay, but theta/2 then, so in blue is theta. Theta/2 is half of that. Okay, so you can see it has a, a bigger, it's actually not, it's pretty close to 1 in sign, right? √25 is 5. Okay, so you've got a kind of big positive sign and a small negative cosine. Okay, so that's sort of what's happening in terms of the picture. All right, I'll see you all in the videos for 5.5 next.